Hi, here is a video to review for your quiz, which will be tomorrow, Friday, April 9th. The quiz is going to have 3 questions. I am not including the first kind of question because we're going to learn that tomorrow. Okay, so you'll have to just get that in class tomorrow. And I'm going to go over the 2 kinds of questions that are review from earlier this week. So here's the first question. Here we are comparing 2 quadratic functions presented in 2 different ways. So the table is one quadratic function, which is called f of x. The equation is another quadratic function, which is called h of x. And I asked you to compare the y-intercept of the 2 functions. So you need to be able to figure out what the y-intercept is for each function, and then you'll compare the 2. So looking at a table, we think of y-intercept. Well, a table and equation both don't give us the visual of what the y-intercept is. So let me just make a quick visual down here, except that I'm not on my pen, so 1 second. Here we go. So if we have an equation of a parabola and we put it on the graph, it will look something like, say it looks like this. So where would the y-intercept be? The y-intercept would be right there on the y-axis. That is a y-intercept. Okay, the y-intercept is a point that is always at x is equal to 0 and then some value for y, right? Because you see along this axis, x is always equal to 0. So when we're looking for a y-intercept on a table, we're looking for the value where x is equal to 0, and that is right here. So the y-intercept of f of x is 1. Looking at an equation, we could put an input of 0 for x and see what we get for y. So if we replace x with 0 in this equation, so wherever we see x, we put 0 every single time we see x, and solve that, we have 0 squared, which is 0 times 2 is 0. 8 times 0 is 0. And 0 plus 3 is 3. So when we put an input of 0 in our equation for x, we got out 3. Okay? So the y-intercept for f of x was 0, 1. The y-intercept for h of x is 0, 3. So if you were asked to compare, you would say that the y-intercept of f of x is smaller. Okay, so I'd probably ask you a question like which function has the smaller y-intercept or something like that, and you'll just have to write which function it is. So that's all for comparing functions, and watch my next video to see the other kind of question that we'll do. And if you like seeing these videos, subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.